In this video, we'll reveal how coffee, a daily staple for millions of people, might hide dangers that threaten your health. You'll learn about the fatal mistakes people make when choosing coffee and why buying beans from certain countries could pose a real risk to your life. From toxic additives and mycotoxins to radiation contamination, these hidden dangers can seriously impact your well-being. We've prepared tips to help you choose truly safe coffee. Make sure to watch the video until the end to find out which coffee to avoid to protect your health. This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. Tip 10. Never buy coffee from countries with high levels of genetically modified beans, such as Brazil. Brazilian coffee has long gained popularity for its rich flavor and aroma, but there might be more hidden behind this allure. Brazil is actively advancing projects to develop genetically modified GM beans to make its coffee plantations more resilient to climate change, pests, and diseases. However, this progress in agricultural science raises many concerns about the effects of such products on the human body. Genetically modified coffee, GMO, isn't just a marketing gimmick. Research from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, in the United States has indicated that long-term consumption of GMO products can disrupt the natural gut microbiome. For example, 15% of people who regularly consume GMO products experienced a reduction in beneficial bacteria like lactobacillus. This can weaken the immune system, impair digestion, and lead to chronic gastrointestinal conditions. Another significant risk is the increase in allergic reactions. The American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology reported that 8% of patients who consumed GMO products developed new forms of allergies. Symptoms range from mild itching to anaphylactic shock. While specific studies on coffee-related reactions are limited, the possibility remains, especially considering the unpredictable changes in the protein structure of modified beans. Medical cases have already raised alarms. For instance, Jessica Taylor, a 34-year-old from Denver, Colorado, sought medical attention for chronic stomach pain and persistent fatigue. After months of tests, doctors concluded that her issues were linked to regular consumption of GMO products, including coffee. They had to create a personalized treatment plan, including restoring her gut microbiome with probiotics. To avoid such problems, it's crucial to choose coffee certified as GMO-free. Look for labels like non-GMO Project Verified. It's also wise to opt for organic coffee, which is grown without GMO technology. If you're already experiencing symptoms resembling food allergies or gut issues, consider cutting out coffee temporarily and consulting a gastroenterologist. Tip 9. Never buy coffee from countries with poor storage conditions, such as Mexico. Mexico is known for its unique climate and rich coffee growing traditions, producing aromatic beans with a bold flavor. However, behind this appealing image lies significant health risks associated with improper storage and transportation of coffee beans. High humidity, fluctuating temperatures, and inadequate infrastructure can turn Mexican coffee into a potential hazard for your health. Under poor storage conditions, coffee beans become an ideal environment for mold growth. Mold fungi produce mycotoxins, including aflatoxins and ochratoxins, which are highly toxic. According to the National Institute of Toxicological Research, around 12% of Mexican coffee samples tested on the U.S. market contained traces of ochratoxin A. This toxin can accumulate in the body, damaging the kidneys, liver, and immune system. Chronic intoxication from these toxins is especially dangerous, as symptoms may not appear immediately. These symptoms include persistent fatigue, loss of appetite, and decreased focus. The American Medical Association reports that over 20,000 cases of kidney disease annually in the U.S. are linked to exposure to mycotoxins, including those found in low-quality coffee. Bacterial contamination is another serious concern. In humid environments, bacteria like Salmonella can infiltrate coffee beans, leading to acute food poisoning, especially if the coffee undergoes minimal thermal processing. For example, a case published in the Journal of Internal Medicine detailed a 42-year-old man from Arizona who was hospitalized with severe diarrhea and dehydration. The source was coffee purchased at a farmer's market that hadn't been adequately processed. Doctors diagnosed Salmonella contamination, requiring weeks of intensive treatment. To avoid such risks, choose coffee from reputable producers that adhere to strict storage standards. Organic brands with quality certifications like Rainforest Alliance or UTZ often maintain higher levels of control. Pay attention to packaging. Vacuum-sealed bags or airtight containers protect the product from moisture and bacteria. If you're uncertain about quality, opt for roasted beans, as high temperatures eliminate most pathogens. Tip 8. Never buy coffee from countries that heavily rely on chemical decaffeination methods, such as the United States. Decaf coffee sounds like the perfect solution for those who want to enjoy the aroma and flavor of coffee without overstimulating their nervous system. However, behind its seemingly harmless appeal lies a processing method that could lead to serious health concerns. In certain regions of the United States, methylene chloride, a chemical solvent known for its toxicity in high concentrations, is used to remove caffeine from coffee beans. Methylene chloride is favored for its ability to effectively strip caffeine while preserving the aromatic oils that give coffee its distinct flavor. But the decaffeination process itself raises alarms. Residual traces of methylene chloride in coffee beans, even in small amounts, can cause irritation to mucous membranes, headaches, and chronic fatigue in sensitive individuals. A study published by the American Industrial Hygiene Association found that regular consumption of products treated with methylene chloride could lead to toxin buildup in the body, particularly in individuals with impaired liver function. One real-life case, documented in the journal Clinical Toxicology, involved a 52-year-old patient from San Diego who suffered from persistent headaches, nasal congestion, and a diminished sense of smell. After extensive testing, doctors discovered that the cause was decaf coffee he had been consuming daily for several months. Residual chemicals in the coffee had accumulated in his body, leading to irritation of mucous membranes and the nervous system. The man had to completely eliminate coffee from his diet and undergo a detox program and medical treatment. Fortunately, there are safer alternatives. Many producers now offer decaffeinated coffee processed using water or carbon dioxide methods. These methods eliminate the use of toxic chemicals while preserving the flavor and aroma of the coffee. When shopping for decaf, look for labels like Swiss water process or CO2 process, which guarantee gentle and chemical-free decaffeination techniques. If you've noticed symptoms like mucous membrane irritation, chronic fatigue, or headaches, consider temporarily eliminating decaf coffee from your diet and consulting a healthcare provider. Tip 7. Never buy coffee from countries with widespread product counterfeiting, such as China. Every time we purchase coffee, we trust that the package contains a natural product grown under the sun and carefully harvested. However, in some countries such as China, what's inside could be something entirely different, a chemical cocktail of artificial flavors, dyes, and substitutes. Counterfeit coffee is more than a disappointment. It's a health hazard. A study conducted by the University of Minnesota revealed that up to 20% of products sold coffee in certain regions contain adulterants, including melamine and cheap plant-based powders. To cut costs, some manufacturers replace genuine coffee beans with dubious mixtures, which may include sucrose, low-quality oils, and even chemical flavoring agents designed to mimic the aroma of coffee. The consequences of consuming such counterfeit products can be severe. Allergic reactions, swelling, stomach disorders, and even chronic liver diseases are just a few of the potential risks. In one case documented in the Journal of Food Safety, a woman in Texas was hospitalized with severe nausea and abdominal cramps after trying a new coffee variety purchased online. Tests revealed the product contained artificial flavoring agents and traces of toxic substances, including melamine, used to enhance the color of the beverage. It took her months of treatment and a strict diet to restore her liver function. How can you avoid falling into this trap? First, steer clear of coffee from unverified sources, particularly if it's imported from countries with a high rate of counterfeiting. Second, trust producers with international quality certifications like Fair Trade or Rainforest Alliance. These labels guarantee the authenticity of the product. Finally, be wary of deals that seem too good to be true. A suspiciously low price may indicate that the product is counterfeit. If you've experienced symptoms after consuming such coffee, consult a doctor immediately. Blood and liver tests can help identify toxin buildup. Most importantly, don't ignore these incidents. Report them to food safety authorities to help protect other consumers. Tip 6. Never buy coffee from countries where pesticides are heavily used, such as Vietnam. When you enjoy your morning cup of coffee, it's hard to imagine that behind its rich flavor could lie a potential danger. However, if your coffee comes from Vietnam, there's reason to pause. Vietnam is renowned as one of the world's largest coffee producers, but it's also a leader in pesticide usage in agriculture. In Vietnam, pesticide use averages over 11 kilograms per hectare, several times higher than the global average. Local farmers often rely on chemicals banned in other countries, such as chlorpyrifos and carbamates. While these substances increase crop yields, they don't always wash away completely during processing. As a result, pesticide residues can make their way into your cup, posing a health risk. The problem goes beyond just chemical traces in coffee. Pesticide residues in beans can lead to serious health issues, from mild allergic reactions to long-term endocrine system disruptions. A study conducted by the University of California found that consistent consumption of products with elevated pesticide levels is linked to thyroid dysfunction and an increased risk of cancer. Approximately 20% of participants in the study reported health concerns, including fatigue, headaches, and decreased concentration. American doctors frequently encounter unusual cases of chronic pesticide poisoning. One such patient was a 42-year-old man from Florida who had been drinking coffee sourced from Vietnam through an online retailer for 2 years. He sought medical attention for persistent dizziness and significant weight loss. Tests revealed elevated pesticide levels in his blood, which had adversely affected his liver and nervous system. His recovery required extensive treatment, including the complete elimination of coffee from his diet. So how can you protect yourself? First, choose coffee grown on certified organic plantations. Labels such as USDA Organic or Rainforest Alliance ensure minimal pesticide use. Avoid purchasing from dubious online stores where beans often lack proper quality control. If you've experienced symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, or other signs of discomfort after drinking coffee, seek medical attention. Blood and urine tests can help identify possible pesticide poisoning. Prioritize your health by making informed choices. Your morning cup should be a source of energy, not harm. Tip 5. Never buy coffee from countries with polluted environments, such as Colombia. Colombia is a country celebrated for its romantic high-altitude plantations and the delightful aroma of its coffee. However, behind this picturesque image lies a grim reality. Widespread environmental issues jeopardize not only the quality of Colombian coffee, but also the health of its consumers. Soil contamination with heavy metals such as lead and cadmium makes Colombian coffee a less safe choice than it may appear. Deforestation and intensive mining have left a significant mark on Colombia's ecosystem. These activities have allowed heavy metals to seep into the soil, from which coffee plants draw their nutrients. According to research by the Colombian Institute of Environmental Studies, over 30% of soils in the central and northern regions of the country contain elevated levels of lead and cadmium. These metals can accumulate in coffee beans, and their consumption over time poses severe health risks. Even in small amounts, lead can have a devastating effect on the nervous system, contributing to chronic headaches, irritability, and memory problems. Cadmium is toxic to the kidneys, causing gradual dysfunction. A study conducted by Brown University found that over 20% of patients with chronic kidney disease in the southern United States had high levels of cadmium in their bodies, which was linked to the regular consumption of imported products, including coffee. A 38-year-old man from Chicago visited a clinic complaining of fatigue, persistent exhaustion, and lower back pain. He revealed that he started each day with 3 cups of coffee ordered directly from Colombia. Blood tests showed dangerously high levels of cadmium, which had caused significant damage to his kidneys. He required intensive treatment and had to give up his favorite beverage to restore his health. To avoid such risks, choose coffee with eco-certification labels. Organizations like Rainforest Alliance or Fair Trade ensure that products are made with minimal environmental impact. Verify the origin of the coffee and prioritize beans from regions with controlled production practices. If you've already purchased coffee from countries with environmental issues, pay attention to its taste and smell. Beans with excessive heavy metal content often have a bitter or chemical aftertaste. Make informed choices to protect both your health and the environment. Tip 4. Never buy coffee from countries with poor sanitation practices such as Ethiopia. Ethiopia, known as the birthplace of coffee, captivates with its aromatic beans, celebrated for their rich flavor and deep aftertaste. However, behind this perfection often lies significant health risks. In many cases, coffee bean processing in Ethiopia involves violations of basic sanitation standards, turning your favorite beverage into a potential source of harmful infections. The primary issue stems from the processing and drying stages. Without proper oversight, beans may come into contact with contaminated water or surfaces, creating ideal conditions for the growth of harmful microorganisms. Research conducted by the University of Minnesota revealed that over 12% of coffee samples from such regions contain traces of E. coli. This bacterium can cause severe food poisoning, leading to dehydration and gastrointestinal issues. Salmonella, another frequent contaminant in these conditions, poses a significant threat not just to health, but to life itself. Experts from the Mayo Clinic report that about 40% of salmonella cases require hospitalization due to severe intoxication and the risk of systemic complications. The story of a California resident highlights the potential consequences. This man regularly purchased coffee from a small Ethiopian producer, delighted by its unique flavor. However, after drinking one particular cup, he experienced severe nausea, abdominal pain, and fever. Doctors diagnosed him with salmonella poisoning, likely caused by contaminated beans. He ended up spending 3 weeks in the hospital undergoing intensive treatment. To avoid such risks, only buy coffee from trusted producers who certify their products at every stage, from cultivation to packaging. Look for organic certifications that confirm compliance with sanitation standards and the absence of contamination. Choosing carefully ensures not only the enjoyment of exceptional coffee, but also your health and safety. Tip 3. Never buy coffee from countries where beans are contaminated with mycotoxins, such as Indonesia. Indonesia, with its exotic landscapes and rich coffee culture, draws coffee enthusiasts from around the globe. However, the country's warm and humid climate not only provides ideal conditions for growing flavorful beans, but also creates a perfect breeding ground for harmful molds. These molds produce mycotoxins, hidden dangers that can lead to severe health problems. One of the most dangerous mycotoxins, ochratoxin A, poses a significant risk. According to research from the University of Colorado, about 15% of coffee samples from tropical regions contain traces of this toxin. Consuming even small amounts regularly can result in a buildup of ochratoxin A in the body, causing chronic liver and kidney damage. Over time, this exposure increases the likelihood of developing cancer. Doctors at the Cleveland Clinic reported an unusual case involving a Florida man who drank several cups of coffee daily. He began experiencing constant fatigue, side pain, and loss of appetite. After extensive tests, the doctors diagnosed him with chronic kidney damage caused by accumulated ochratoxin A. The man had to undergo a lengthy treatment regimen and completely reevaluate his coffee preferences. Addressing this issue starts with awareness and careful choices when buying coffee. Select brands that openly share information about their products and ensure strict quality control. Look for organic certifications or testing data for mycotoxins as additional guarantees of safety. It's also wise to favor beans grown in regions with drier climates or processed using modern techniques that prevent mold development. By making informed choices, you can enjoy your coffee without compromising your health. Tip 2. Never buy coffee from countries with a high risk of radiation contamination, such as Japan. Japan is renowned for its meticulous attention to detail and high-quality standards. However, even the strictest regulations cannot entirely shield against the aftermath of natural disasters. After the catastrophic nuclear accident at the Fukushima power plant in 2011, certain areas in Japan faced long-term risks of radiation contamination. While Japan does not grow coffee, green beans are often imported and processed there before being distributed globally. Radioactive isotopes such as cesium-137 and strontium-90, which may be present in products exposed to radiation, are silent yet deadly threats. These isotopes accumulate in the human body, causing gradual but serious damage. A study conducted by Johns Hopkins University found that prolonged exposure to radiation increases the risk of leukemia and other cancers by 30%. For consumers, this means that an innocent cup of coffee could become part of a dangerous chain of events with tragic outcomes. At a Chicago clinic, doctors encountered an unusual case. A man in his 40s who regularly consumed coffee produced in Japan developed symptoms of chronic fatigue over time. Eventually, he was diagnosed with early-stage leukemia. Medical tests revealed traces of radionuclides in his system. This case serves as a stark reminder that hidden dangers can lurk in everyday products. To protect yourself and your loved ones, pay close attention to the origin of your coffee. Check the packaging and avoid products roasted or processed in regions exposed to radiation risks. Many reputable manufacturers provide detailed information about where their beans are roasted and packaged. It's also wise to choose trusted brands that adhere to strict safety standards. By making informed choices, you can enjoy your coffee with peace of mind. And here's the most important point on our list. Tip 1. Never buy coffee from countries with the highest levels of toxic contaminants, such as Uganda. Uganda, a picturesque country with a rich flora and fauna, is famous for its coffee grown in fertile tropical lands. However, behind the romantic image of Ugandan coffee lies a troubling reality. The warm and humid climate, ideal for growing coffee trees, turns out to be the perfect breeding ground for mold fungi that produce dangerous toxins. Aflatoxins and ochratoxins are the invisible enemies of your health. These substances, produced by fungi, affect coffee beans during storage. A study by the University of Minnesota found that over 25% of coffee samples from Uganda contained elevated levels of aflatoxins, which can cause acute liver damage. With prolonged exposure, these toxins accumulate in the body, contributing to the development of chronic diseases, including liver cancer, which increases the risk by 30 to 40% in consumers of products with high toxin levels. A sad example of this is a case from the medical practice of a Seattle doctor. A young woman, an avid coffee lover, sought help for constant weakness, yellowing skin, and pain in her right side. After thorough examination, it was determined that her condition was caused by toxic liver damage from regularly consuming contaminated coffee, which she had purchased from a local supplier specializing in beans from Uganda. What can you do to avoid this danger? First, choose only trusted brands that certify their products for the absence of toxic contaminants. Packaging marked with toxin testing guarantees your safety. Second, pay attention to the country of origin of the beans. If you see Uganda on the list, make sure the manufacturer has a reliable reputation and strict quality control. Additionally, always store your coffee in a dry, cool place. Even the best beans can become contaminated if stored improperly. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.